Good evening, you guys. I see we got some people on. We can't see who you are. If you see by the title, the name of the message is the importance of stepmom and mom coexisting. So I have my daughter's beautiful stepmom, Erica, who has agreed to sit with me today to discuss the importance of coexisting. And I just wanted to put out a disclaimer that this is not, everybody's situation, and that some people, if you are in like your child is in a dangerous environment, then it may be impossible for you. I know that everybody is different, but I just wanted to come on and just share why we think it's important to coexist. And so I had a few questions that I was going to ask her, and we're going to get started. You ready? Okay. So number one, did you have any reservations on being a stepmama? And were you nervous about interactions with Chastity? And did you fear baby mama drama when it came to me?
I had a little bit of concern, quite naturally with any child.
Right.
I actually felt comfortable knowing that
Right.
I already knew you.
Right.
I already knew your character,
Right.
so that made me feel comfortable. So I didn't fear any baby mama drama with you. I did ask because, of course, he had other kids, and I still wanted to know, how the kids felt about it. So that was my only reservation, because I think it's very important that you build a family relationship with the kids. I know a lot of people, they disagree, and it's okay to disagree that, you should wait this long period of time before your kids meet your significant other.
Right.
But I've never felt that way, because I need to know early on, are you going to get along with my kids?
Right.
My kids, dad know this. They never had an issue with me being with somebody touching their kid or anything like that, because those my babies. So if it's not going to work with those three, it wasn't going to work with me. And so I feel the same way when it comes to me being in another kid's life.
Okay.
I got to put myself in the other woman's shoes too. How is she going to feel about it?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we're all women.
Right.
We're trying to make it. We're all moms.
Right.
And we love our babies.
Right.
We carry those babies.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to make another woman feel uncomfortable about me being around that child.
I appreciate that. And you did a great job of, like you mentioned, setting that family atmosphere. Because let me tell you about Chastity. Chastity is she don't really take to a lot of people, and she took to you real quick. She really did. I don't know if you remember that conversation when we saw you at the rec department. Because I can't see that far. And she saw you and she was like, Mama, there go Miss Erica. She was so excited to see you. And I'm like, where's she at? And so I saw you, and man, you spent hours out there talking. And it was because you had already built this family environment. So I just really want to thank you for that. Because like I said, Chastity she don't really talk, and she don't really like to express how she feel about something. But for her to express that she really did like you, it really meant a lot to me. I appreciate that. So my second question was, and this is pertaining to the same thing. There was an instance where Chastity felt comfortable talking to you about something that she didn't talk to me about. You remember that instance? She had an issue with a friend.
Right.
And so she talked to you, but she didn't talk to me. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was in my feelings. I cried.
I remember that.
I cried like a baby. I'm talking about, I called my brother. I'm looking like, this is my daughter, and she going to her stepmama like this. We supposed to have this. But she said she went to you because you didn't know the person, and she didn't want you to be, she didn't want me to be judgmental, even though she know I'm not judgmental. But she went to you. How did you feel about her going to you and letting you know her issues? Like, just asking for your advice and just want you to listen.
Well, actually, I really felt honored that she would open up to me, because I knew she was kind of shy.
Yes,
and
very.
She waited until Mia wasn't around, and she talked to me. I think we were headed to Midland for something. And she opened up about it, and, she seemed comfortable, but she didn't tell me the child's name. And, I gave her some advice on it. And, like I was telling you about the situation, my girls do that too. Sometimes they would go to somebody else You know,
does that bother you if they go to somebody else?
It does, especially when they tell my mom.
Okay.
And they don't tell me, and I'm like, but we're close.
Right.
We're tight.
Right.
Like, how y'all tell mama but won't tell
Right.
me? You know, so I get it, but sometimes we don't mean to, but we say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you be like, I just said what she said.
Yeah.
But mama, you said it a different way.
Exactly.
You know, so that's why I think it's really important to build that relationship, because there's times where y'all butt heads.
Ooh,
and then she butt heads with dad.
Yeah.
So she don't want to talk to either one of y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can't be like, well, your mama wrong because of this, you know.
Yeah.
I've always told her, you know, well, you know.
I appreciate that.
It's still mama.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
Yeah.
It's daddy. Be respectful.
Right.
Think about it. Give mama time to think about it, because we don't always say the right thing.
That is so true.
You know, sometimes they may not get it, or why we're responding that way, and sometimes we don't get it. That's because right. I do the same thing. So I'm not gonna say, well, why her mama tell her that? That was, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm here to support what you're trying to do with your daughter.
I appreciate
so
that.
If I can't come in and help, then what's the point of me being there? You know? So I get it. You always want your child to come to you. You know, and I'm like that, but sometimes
but you know, when I calm down, I'm sorry. But when I calm down, when I stop crying and actually reevaluate the situation, I say, you know what, Mary? It's wonderful. Like I said, because Chastity is just a tough cookie. For her to be comfortable to talk to you, and she don't talk at all, that made me feel really good. Like once I came, I was like, oh my God, you created a safe space for my daughter to be able to talk to you. And that made me feel good, because a lot of people like to look at stepmamas as if, oh, they're taking over. But to me, a stepmama or a stepdad is an extra person that can love on that baby.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a village, and so it's just that extra bit of help. Not that I'm here just for help, but when I said, when I calmed down, I said, she created a safe space for Chastity. And Chastity know that she can, you know, go and talk to you. That made me feel so good. Right.
And she's so sweet, and I'm glad she took to me that way. You know, we never know what happens in life. You know, it could be something tragic. It could be something minor.
Right.
But if she doesn't have that relationship with me and I don't have it with her, it makes it more difficult.
Right.
You know, Chastity knows she can call me. She'll call me at work.
Yeah.
Miss Erica, I need to go to the hospital.
Yes,
she's like, I need to go to the She's not saying go ask nobody. She's telling me, and I automatically take that role as the parent. And it has nothing to do with the man, because whether he's there or not, I'm gonna be there.
I appreciate that.
I've been married before, and you know, even with my ex-husband, my stepdaughter there, I took so much time building that relationship.
That's awesome.
Until, you know, we're not together, but I can pick her up from Florida and bring her here with no problem.
That's awesome.
Because I'm there as long as you want me to be there. Yeah. You know, just because people split up, that doesn't mean you should split up with the kid. And I can say that I've had horrible experiences as having a horrible stepmom where I had to ask, can I spend the night?
Okay. So that's where that love and that passion come from, to love somebody else's child. Right.
It's like, I got to play nice to you just so I can spend time with my daddy. Aww. You know, and that was not a good feeling. Right. But then later on, I had a great stepmom who embraced me. She loved me. I never heard her talk bad about my mom. We went on trips together. She treated my mom with respect. My mom treated her with respect. And that taught me a lot. And even with my sister's dad, you know, even when they didn't work out, you know, and now my parents are back together, but my stepdad, I still call him my stepdad. A couple months ago, my car was broke down. He came all the way to Savannah and fixed it.
That's amazing.
Because we have that bond. So just because it didn't work out between adults doesn't mean that you just cut kids off. So you gotta be genuine.
I'm different. Like I feel like if I'm dating a guy, and which my children only been around one other guy, but like if I if he wanted to be in my daughter's life, like I wouldn't let him.
Let him.
And my reasoning is, it's not me being mean or anything. My reasoning is just the fact of I'm gonna get married, and I don't want my daughter to have these other. You get what I'm saying?
And I do get that. And like I say, everybody's situation is different. But it depends on how much of a bond. Like, that was dad to my kids.
Yeah.
The child still call me mom to this day. I can't just be like, well, no, I have a new relationship.
Right. I get that.
She can't come over. You know, it's not fair to her, you know. So I just didn't like that feeling coming up as a child. So I always said, if I be a stepmom, I was going to be a good one. But for a while, I wouldn't date a man with kids, even though I had kids. Because I was like, I don't want to deal with a baby mama drama. So you gotta make sure that you're ready for it, because you gotta know you as a person.
Yes.
Are you really able to take on that? Because sometimes it's some crazy baby daddies, crazy baby mamas, and nobody wants to deal with that.
Nobody does.
I know I don't.
Nobody don't, because everybody is different. So trying to deal with somebody else who is different, that's why I try my hardest. Now I'm just gonna be honest. Now there was a situation where I was that they call it a bitter baby mama, and I was bitter, if I'll be honest about it. But there was a time where I didn't really coexist with the person that my child's father was dating. But it was simply because I was hurt, though.
Right.
And so, you know the saying, hurt people hurt people?
Right.
I really was, but I had to grow up and say, you know what? It's not about me.
Right.
It's about my child. And at the end of the day, I don't want my child growing up thinking they got a parent that don't care nothing about them, when we got so many mothers and fathers in the world that don't care nothing about their kids. So when you have one that do, like, let them be a part of that child's life. Like, we need it. Like, right now, my mama wasn't in my life like that because of drug addiction and mental issues, but it affects me to this day. Right. Like, if I'm not in my word, if I'm not girded or whatever, it really affects me. So I feel like if we have people that are really trying and want to be in our kids' lives, let them be that in there. Like, sometimes we got to stop thinking about our own issues and our own feelings and just get along for that child. Because once you had that child was your responsibility. It's not fair to the child.
Exactly.
And what made me grow up too was I didn't want nobody to have that. I didn't want to have that thing of, you know, oh, she still want the guy. It wasn't even that. It was the fact that I was hurt and I was trying to hurt you back, and that was the only way I was able to hurt the person back. But at the end of the day, it was just so immature and so childish. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. All I can do is just keep on moving forward. And I can say with you, it is so easy to coexist with you because you have such an inviting spirit. You have such an inviting attitude. It's easy to coexist with you. Everybody is not like that, though. You got some people who are kind of like, you know, because I guess they've been hurt too, so they kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they're not as really open and inviting. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And I always said that I've never really dated a guy with children. I didn't get a chance to, you know, coexist with his kids, which I had already made preparations because I'm a mom. Right. And so I was not going to treat his kids bad. I was going to love on his kids, but of course we didn't make it to that. Right. But I don't know.
But you gotta, you know, I wanted to tell you, I learned from you too. I don't know if you remember or not. I had to take Chastity like an hour and a half away to get her hair done.
Thank you for that too.
You're welcome. So we got all the way there, and then Chastity realized as soon as she gets out the car, I left my hair. And I said, oh gosh. I said, Mary, go kill me. And I was like, I didn't even think to ask her, do you got your hair? So I called you, and she called you, and then I called you, and I was like, I'm sorry, I should have checked. And you was like, it's okay. Everything happens for a reason.
Y'all need to see, God is in everything with me. The fact that she left her hair, when you said that, I was just smiling on the other end. For some reason, God wanted y'all to have that ride with just you and her. Right. It wasn't even about her getting her hair done, so that's why I didn't even get upset.
And I felt so bad. I said, now, if that had been Mia, I would have been fussing. How you come all the way here, you know, and didn't bring the hair?
That was God.
That's what I said. And I learned from that, don't, you know, just jump out and say things to the kids, beat them down by every little thing. So it was a learning lesson for me too. And I was like, wow, she was so nice. She did not fuss not one time, because I thought she was just gonna go off.
That was God behind that.
Yep. So I really
I
appreciate
appreciated you because I was at work. You took your time to take my daughter an hour and 15 minutes to get her hair done. You could have said, why she can't go nowhere local? But because you knew Chastity wanted to go there, you sacrificed. So I appreciate that.
But, she's, like I said, she's a good girl, sweet girl, so how can you not love her?
Yeah, she is to everybody but me.
She loves you too, girl.
I don't know. Sometimes I be scratching the back of my head. Okay, so for the next one, it says, being that you are both a mom and a stepmom, how does that make a difference? Like, you being a mom, how does that make a difference? I think you already answered it though. But how does that make a difference in you being a stepmother, consider you are a mother? I think you already said, basically, you kind of, you're passionate because you have kids of your own or something.
What's the question again?
The question was, being that you are a mom and a stepmom, how does that make a difference in how you are a stepmom, considering you already a mama?
Right. So it makes it just gives me, it makes the family whole, because not only do I have to set the atmosphere for me and the child, but my kids and the child. I don't want an environment where my kids is not getting along with them, or, they can spat like regular siblings, but at the end of the day, they got each other's back. Yeah. My girls have always been like that. This our sister, and her and Chastity just they hold hands, and I was kind of nervous at first.
I was so worried.
Yeah.
I was so worried because Chastity is so shy, and she really kind of antisocial. But and I was just so worried. I'm like, oh my God,
they love each other, and I just love that. But my kids have always kind of been like that. When I'm with somebody, I never raised them to. If they feel free to let me know if they don't like somebody, they're gonna tell me. But they're gonna be respectful about it. They're not gonna be like, well, you're not my daddy. They're gonna come to me and be like, hey, Mom, he did this. Let me know. But it's a way to be respectful about it. And I want them to form the relationship so nobody feels like it's an outside thing, or I hear some people use the term, well, that's his kids, or that's her kids. I didn't like that, and even when my ex-husband was deployed and I would have my daughter, and they would be like, why do you get her? And I'm like, because this her house too. She need to know that she could come to her daddy's house whether he's there or not.
That is amazing.
They're our kids, at the end of the day. So that's the difference for me, just making sure that
that's awesome.
Everybody comes together as a whole.
That's really good. And you remember we went to we talked about this earlier. You came to Chastity, got an award, and I guess we got a little stares. People thought it was strange that we were coexisting. Right. And to me, it's strange that to look at us and say, why they get along? Right. Why wouldn't we? We are family. Like, I plan on when we get married, inviting you and Chastity dad and the family to the wedding, because we are a family. You know what I mean?
Right. And we definitely are. I think that's just a maturity thing, because what are we beefing about?
Exactly.
If I wasn't in that relationship and I just was a coworker and we were cool and you would let me get Chastity then. So why is it an issue? I don't get that. But like I said, it's a maturity thing. People have to grow to that. And like I said, everybody's situation is different. I do understand that. I do too. Some people can be quite difficult.
Yeah, they can.
And
I was once. Honestly, I had to grow.
And you had to grow from that. And some people do grow from it. Some, never do. And so that's why I was happy that you invited me. I appreciate that. Yes. Because I do think that this is a subject that needs to be talked about. I really do. It doesn't have to be no funny business going on. Right. You know, we don't have to be looking at each other like,
right,
you know,
rolling our eyes like who she thinks she is. No.
Because me and you probably, we'll talk for hours.
Ooh, my God. I'm talking about hours and hours and hours. And I really thank God for that. Like, I literally do.
Right.
Let me tell you what my friend said today. Because I told my friend that we were going live today and talking about it. And I was saying how, you know, easy it is for me and you to coexist. She said, because both of y'all got God.
Right. Absolutely.
I said, you know, that's the key ingredient.
Absolutely.
Having God. So what do you do? With that being said, that's not even on my list of questions. But what do you do when you deal with somebody who don't have God? Just don't, and it ain't even about just having God, but don't have those type of morals or having respect. What do you do then?
Well, like I was saying before, you got to know you as a person. And if it's too wild for me, I mean, honey, I don't care how much I like you, but I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to get in covenant with somebody and you got all this going on. You going to give me a headache. Right. I don't have baby daddy drama, so why I got to get over here and entertain? As I feel like as that man, you need to handle that. Because I'm not going to be fussing back and forth with your kid's mom about something that you need to take care of. Or if you just can't get along with her, that's like something that you're going to have to pray about and figure it out. But I have the choice to not, you know, take a part of that. I mean, would you have a conversation though? Like if you thought it was rocky, would you even attempt to say, "Hey, I want to have a conversation with you to try to see if we can, you know, how would you go about that?" Absolutely. With my ex-husband, we, you know, it wasn't the best in the beginning, and I kept pushing for the conversation. Okay. But that's how passionate I was about having that relationship, and she ended up coming to me. That's awesome because you made the initial. She ended up coming to me and she said, I know you love my daughter. And she was like, if she didn't, she would say something. Okay. And she was like, I see how you are with her. And she said, we have no reason not to like each other. And from then on, we was smooth sailing. We communicated, amazing. We got along, and we talked all the time, like, you know, you and I talk. But it started off, but I think everything wasn't very honest in the beginning. Okay. So, you know, that's the other thing. Was the man, because I've, you know, some situations, not my situation, but I've heard of situations where the man could be the factor of the women not even getting along. Like for some reason they like the riffraff. They like the. I don't know why they would do that though. Why wouldn't you want? I don't know if it's ego or they just like women fussing over them. I really don't know. But I thank God that we came to that and we all, you know, when it comes to the kids, we agree on that. You know, it's some other things that we probably don't agree on, but when it comes to the kids, they knew I love the kids. That's awesome. And they love mine, so that's awesome. Know, and that's just what it was. But no, at this age, nah, I couldn't do it. So that's always was one of my first questions. Like, how are you with your kids, mom? Y'all get along? Because it's kind of a deal breaker for me. Right, me too. It can be a head. Not that I experience it, but I see so many other people experience it, and I see people where they complain, you know, the other person, the girlfriend or the wife or some, you know, something like that, they not helping, you know, won't step in and play that motherly role. Right. Like if you're not there, like why? Right. Because, it's just a miscommunication. Yeah. Like if we can all just sit down and talk and get out of our feelings. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it ain't even about us. It's about our children. Right. Even though we do want to be able to get along, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't feel good as a mama with my children growing up and me not allowing their father to get them because I was upset. Right. Or I couldn't even be the bigger person and take the high road. Sometimes it get kind of hard to take that high road, but if my child can benefit off their father in their life, I can take the high road because I ain't got to see you long. And I ain't got to talk to you long if it was that kind of relationship. If I was, you know what I mean? Right. And you, and with all that being said, you still have to be mindful too. Because some people can be nasty, you know, slick nasty to your kids and play in front of the mom. Like, you know, they so good, or play in front of the dad like they so good. But then when the kid and the other person by themselves, it's something different. As a parent, you got to watch out for that. You got to look out for your kid, you know, and say, hey, you know, if this woman ain't for you, or this man ain't for you, when it comes to your kids, you got to draw the line. I don't care how good it is in the bedroom, honey. This your kid. Exactly. Like, you're not going to treat my child nasty.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, you got to watch out for that, because everybody...
And see, I never experienced that. I never experienced the, like I said, I never dated anybody that had children, like not no real relationship. And so I never experienced that. So I don't know. So it's interesting to hear you say that. And I'm wondering what I would do. But me knowing me, I can ignore a lot of stuff. So I know that I'd be able to, unless it's not like extreme, you being very disrespectful, where we going to take it there and just do something crazy. I think... Because like I said, you don't have to see the other person that long.
Right.
You know? I think somebody had a question.
And people have different...
Yes, that's right. You have to watch out for your kids. True.
Right. And people have different parenting styles.
That's true.
Now, that's something that you have to, you know, really work on, especially if they're younger. Like, some people okay with their kids saying what? You know,
or
but
not
in my
putting
house,
a handle on it.
But in my house, you can't. Don't answer me.
Don't
you know,
don't come by my name. And when you see other grown-ups, you put a handle on it, Mister. You're gonna be respectful to other grown-ups. You're gonna be respectful to other people anyway, because they're human beings.
Right.
So you're right about that. The different parenting style. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That would be rough. Like to be worried about your child because of the environment.
Right. So
the environments are totally different.
Right. You definitely want to look at that, because if y'all got a different parenting style, like, it's just too far apart.
Yeah.
That's going to be a disaster as well. You got to kind of get on the same page.
Yeah. Wow. And you know, I know that for some people, the parent like to play on the child as far as making the child choose, like, or they'll say something about their parent to the child. I never had that instance, but I know other people have, and I just wanted to mention it since we're talking about that. Well, how would you feel? I mean, like, I know you wouldn't feel good about it. How would you handle that?
You mean like...
as far as, like, you know, like, the mama and daddy not getting along, so the dad play on the child, to the child about the mom, then the mom playing on the child to the child about the dad. Like, just a whole bunch of...
Was your daddy mean to you?
Yeah.
Did your dad...
Ask questions. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I asked a question before, honey.
Yeah, you gonna ask. You gonna ask questions. we naturally, especially as women, we gonna ask questions. But you know,
but not make
don't make it look like, don't put stuff in the child head that's not there.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But we gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
But don't put stuff in the child head like making it look like she's actually doing something or he's actually doing something that's not happening. But ask questions, because I want to know. Like, but their personal business, what they got going on, don't have nothing to do with
at all. But how they, I guess they did you or whatever. Because, you know, sometimes kids talk to their parents anyway. So I had an instance where my child came home and told me something. And I was like, what? It was like alarming to me. So I'm like, you know, I mentioned it. Oh, you asking them questions. But this particular time, I ain't asking no questions. They just came and said it, you know, X, Y, and Z. And certain things you're going to mention because you like, this is very alarming. I don't want my child in that kind of environment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And kids going to tell it.
They are going to tell it. But then we have to know where to set those boundaries with the kids and say, hey, if it ain't nothing extreme happen, don't come and tell me nothing.
Yeah. It's hard to do because we knows it.
As women.
Women, we naturally know it.
It is kind of hard. But I had started doing that, and it was working for me because I know that my children, fathers wouldn't put them in no strange.
Yeah, as
so
long
that's when you got to know the person you get a child with. Like, they wouldn't put my kids in no bad environment. So I ain't have that to worry anyway, to be honest with you. So like I said, certain stuff I just can't speak on because I have never experienced it. Thank you, God.
Right.
So my next question is, what is a fear that you have as being chastity stepmom? Like, do you have a fear?
No, it's more of I know I'm connected with her, but I want to be more connected with her, you know, because she opens up about some things, but not everything.
Oh, she don't open up at all, really.
You know,
so
and you know, she's at. About dating.
Oh no, I'm not.
Okay. So she's at the stage of dating.
Yes, Lord.
Her and Mia, and it does make make me a little nervous. So I do send her a little text and here and there, just making sure everything's going right. You know, so far so good.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
most
and I just hope she is able to come to me during that time, because I know she's nervous because her daddy is like, no,
oh,
no,
he don't want to hear.
boys.
He don't want to hear that. I told him that she was in love. He was like, she ain't in love.
Yeah,
It's puppy love. She don't know what love
he
is.
didn't like that necklace around her neck.
Yeah,
know?
talking about that was property. I'm like, that's cute little puppy.
Right,
type
right.
stuff.
And so I just want the girls to be kept. So I am, you know, kind of nervous about that time coming up, because she's getting older, you know, and just making sure she stays pure, because her grades are so good.
They are.
You know, and
I'm so thankful.
Yes, you're blessed. But yeah, that's my only concern. But other than that, no.
But I'm
concerns.
not trying to be, biased because she's my child or try to brag or nothing, because I know that there is a devil listening. But when I can say, as far as her with her purity and just everything about herself, she carries herself so well.
She does.
I'm very thankful. I am thankful, and I do appreciate your concern on that. But I'm just so thankful.
Yeah.
Because it could be the other way, and I think that too. That could be another thing, like, because she's so. I ain't gonna say a good child, trying to put my child on the pedestal, because we do have our moments.
Right.
I think it's easy to be a stepmom to her because of her.
Because the way she is.
Yeah.
But you played that part in her life. You've always been sweet as long as I've known you, and so she does have your spirit. But she is a respectful child.
She been.
I'm grateful in that aspect. No, fears about that at all. I just want her, even when she goes off to college or whatnot, I would like for her to keep, a close relationship. But
she said when she goes to college, she ain't coming home a lot, and I believe her. Ooh,
she ready to be free.
She is. So my next question is, if there was something that you felt that I should if there was something that you felt that I was doing in my parenting style that you didn't agree with, or you thought that would be a help, like, would you tell me, and what approach would you use to tell me?
Absolutely.
I know you would.
If it's something that I think that needs to be changed, I think you would even want to know.
Right.
Because I know you, and I know you trying to raise your daughter right. Vice versa. If somebody see me, I would want them to tell me. Do it hurt a little bit? Yeah, but that's where growth comes from.
Right.
Things get uncomfortable.
That's right.
And I know you're a woman of God, and you know me, that it will be coming from a good place.
Right.
So there's no, but you shouldn't have did, that type of thing. No, it's coming out of love and concern. Right. So absolutely, if it was something.
I know you would, and I appreciate that, because it takes a lot to tell somebody, hey, you could do this a little different. Or you did tell me something one time, because about the same instance with Chastity told you, she said that you would tell somebody. And you shouldn't tell nobody.
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. Like, I'll be on the phone with my brother or one of my friends, like, child, Chastity, such and such, such and such. So when you told me that, and I was like, Chastity, I ain't gonna tell nobody else. I promise.
But you know how I know? Because my girl said, Mama, soon as I tell you something, you tell everybody.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. Ooh, thank God. But when you told me that, though, that really did help me. Like, literally, it did. I thank you for even, like, having the courage to even tell me that. Because I don't mind nobody telling me that. Because I want to evolve and change. Because let me tell you something, honey. Our way of thinking is not always right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. And that's always my prayer. God, always continue to show me. Let me know what I'm doing that's not right. So when he sends somebody to help me out, I always appreciate it. So thank you for that, too.
Welcome.
So my next question is, I got one more after this. So this question is, what advice would you give as mama, you a mama to another stepmama? Like if you had something to tell a stepmama that would help their situation out with their mama that they are, do you get what I'm trying to say? Let me reword it. What advice would you give as mama? Okay, so you're the mama, you're dating this guy, and he has a woman or wife or whatever, and she's a stepmama. What advice would you give that stepmama that's dating that man that got that child? As a mama, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
What advice?
Love my child like it's your own. What if something happens to me?
Right.
That's gonna hurt my child.
Right.
With me not being there. Is she gonna feel that comfort from you?
Exactly.
Feeling like, yes, my mom gone, but you know, thank God I have her here. Or is she gonna feel like my mama wouldn't treat me like this?
Right.
You know?
Gotcha.
Don't make her feel like an outsider.
Wow.
Like, really love her.
Yes. Because I definitely felt that. You know, I had a stepmama, and I definitely felt that, like the outside. I definitely felt unwanted. I felt unloved. Yeah. Like I went home one day, and she didn't even want me to be there. And that hurt. Like I still remember that. And so that's why my parenting style is so different, because I felt that I felt that me being unwanted. I don't ever want my kids to feel that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, what advice would you give the stepmama? What advice would you give as stepmom to mom? Like you the stepmom, like you, what advice would you give that mama? You dating this man.
If I'm the stepmom to mom, be patient with me. I'm learning to.
Oh, I love it. Especially if you don't have kids, right?
Right.
Okay, I love
that. Be
that.
patient with me. I'm learning to. I'm here to support you.
Wow.
This is new for me.
Right.
And just give me a chance.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And that was my last question. So my thing is, like I said, I know every situation is different. I know every body is different. You don't have as many people in the world who is inviting as you are as me. You know what I mean? And so my thing is that if we could just learn to heal as a whole, once we heal ourselves, everything around us get better. Like once I start healing, me being a parent start getting better. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And so I never want to make it uncomfortable for my children's fathers. Like I never want to just be catty or unruly just to make their lives rough. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I don't want my children growing up saying, you know what, my father was good, but my mama was in her feelings, so my dad didn't get me. Or my mom was in my feelings, so I didn't have a relationship with my dad. So I'm just saying, y'all, I'm not just trying to, you know, just act like I know everything, because I don't. Because like I said earlier, certain situations I have never been in. Certain everybody's situation is so different. But y'all, if we could just learn to come together, like if we could learn unity, you understand what I'm saying? Like, do you know how much better your child would be? Like, listen, from me having broken homes and stuff, I grew up a messed up individual. Do you want that for your child to be messed up like that? Don't you want your child to thrive? You know what I mean? Right. And just be the best them possible. So when we think about step parents, I don't want us to think of, oh, they're just trying to take over. I don't want nobody taking over my child. I want you to look at that step parent as another person to come to love on your child, another person that God gave you to help you with your seed. Like, that's what I thought about, and that's what really helped me. And so that was just a takeaway for that. You had anything else you had to say?
Yeah, like what you said, you know, you don't want to be that person. And as a step parent, I don't want to be that person to come in just like, oh, I'm his girl now. You know, you can't talk to him without talking to me.
Oh, that's another thing.
You know, no, because some stuff, it's got to be between you and him. At the end of the day, it's y'all kid. I don't have to be there for everything. You call him sometimes you call me sometimes. Right. And yes, I want to make sure you good too. Right. If you're not good, the kid's not going to be good. Exactly. You know, it's a lot of times, you know, you may just need somebody to talk to. You may not be feeling well. Right. You know, you may need me to get the kids. And yes, Chastity got a brother. No, it's not his kid, but if you needed me to get both of them, I'll get both of them. Because it's helping you. Right. It's helping Chastity, you know, because she can grow up with issues.
Yes, like I did. I'm telling y'all, I was messed up. I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't take nothing else away from this session tonight, think about me, what I'm saying. I'm talking about, I'm really getting passionate about it because I grew up a messed up individual. Do you want that for your child because you and your feelings? Right. Like, is it even worth it because you and your feelings, or you feel like they said, or they did? Who cares what they said? When it comes to your seed, baby, take the high road. Because let me tell you something. People that have families and have loving environments, they are different. I'm going to tell you this right here. Me and Chastity, two young ladies, I can remember myself at her age. I was so depressed. I was suicidal. And, you know, everything was different. My daughter is happy. She is happy. You know what I mean? You know why she happy? Because she got love surrounded by her. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. I was depressed, y'all. I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I was broken. I had a stepmom who didn't want me to be around. I ain't asked to be born. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Why would we want our children to endure that? To God be the glory, Rashonda. So like I said, y'all, I'm going to say it one more time. Please, please, please think about your babies. Think about your kids. It ain't even about the other person. And you know the thing about it too is, though, y'all, if we can learn to forgive and forget, because my thing is, if I don't forgive my ex, do you understand what kind of poison and toxicity that is in me? And then even if I don't say nothing about him to my kids will still feel it. Right. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. I like it to be that when I see my kids' fathers, that we be able to coexist. We laugh and we talk when we see each other. Right, right. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because I want my children to say, hey, they probably didn't make it, but everybody getting along real good. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And even as a stepmom, you know, if he doesn't have a good relationship with his kid, you should be pushing him to. That's a whole nother situation. You need to be pushing him. Yes. Because why you want him to parent your kids and be there for your kids, but you don't want him to be there for his kids? Yes. Something wrong with that. Yeah, something is definitely wrong with that. Because if you're not taking care of your kids, I don't want you over mine. If you can't take care of yours and I don't see you active in your child relationship, there's nothing you can tell me. Right. Because I want a family-oriented guy. Right. You ain't taking care of your own seeds, baby. What you gonna do for mine? Right. But you do have men that actually do take care of the other child. Whoever they with at the time, that's who child they'll take care of. Right, right. And that is so sad. And I'm going to tell you, I do know some men, some decent men who actually want to be in their children's lives. And the woman won't let them. Oh, and the woman won't let that baby. Sis, can you please heal and let that man get his seed? Because there are just certain things that men can do that us women cannot do. There are certain seeds that the men can partake in their kids that we just can't. We don't have that ability. We nurturers by nature. But like, for instance, certain things, my twin brother, you know, I thank God for him because my dad, even though I'm 36 years old, my dad in a nursing facility, there are certain things, like men have structure. Like there are certain things that my brother have to tell me. There are certain things that I have to know because men are direct. Right. They don't sugarcoat stuff. They tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Sometimes mothers, we're so nurturing, we kind of skate around stuff. Baby, they gonna tell it, and they gonna make sure that child is the best that they could possibly be. Some instances, not all are like that, but I know a lot of men that actually want to partake in their kids' lives. Absolutely. And it's so sad. You know what I'm saying? I wish that we can all just get along. You got anything else to add? No. Okay. That is it. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you again for, like I said, loving my baby. And thank you for your mom. Her mom even offered to get Chastity from school if I needed somebody to get my baby from school. Like, that's her grandbaby. Like, why wouldn't I want to love y'all? You know what I'm saying? If y'all treating my baby so well, I thank God for that. You don't have to, but you do. So thank you again. Thank you for being a part of the live. Thank you for even just being a light. And my takeaway is, I just hope that you guys take away of what your child needs. Right. Have a good night. Good night. Bye-bye.